Welcome back everyone for this next installment of Deus Ex Human Revolution. Today we got the side quests of our second visit to Detroit, Talion Anno Domini, and Corporate Warfare. Talion Anno Domini is the warrior priest one that you asked me about a while ago. There was an achievement linked to it.
Yeah, I could just never find the warrior priest in question, or complete that side quest.
It's an interesting side quest, but anyway, we're...
This is part of the headshot and my eye.
Jesus.
What's happening?
What's happening?
An audio glitch, and that everyone's suffering from it apparently.
Okay.
So we're just gonna have a little venture around Hengsha 2. There's no practice kits to be found, so I decided to put this at the beginning of the video instead.
Oh, I thought that was actually a thing that your game was doing wrong. No, it's an intentional thing.
Yes, and that's also partly what this video is. We need to go to the limb clinic and fix our retinal enhancers, but here's an interesting question, David. Why is everyone suffering from a software glitch if everyone might not have the same brands of chip in their head?
Maybe everyone who's augmented is linked somehow?
But no, they're still different brands.
I'm acting all coy, but I genuinely can't remember.
Hey. And that guy was like, hey, can you tell me what happened? And he fell like 6 feet onto his head.
Did it hit you too? Oh, I thought I was going to die.
Also, I had another weird moment recording that I usually have. You know, a while ago, I told you that I spent like an hour in a game trying to get a hairstyle sorted.
Yeah?
Same thing happened there.
Okay.
Been a bit busy, Francis.
Jensen, the World Health Organization is advising all augmented patients to check in with LIM. There's a problem with biochip technology.
The glitches I've been experiencing.
We've all had them. So far, I can't determine why.
You heading to a clinic?
I'm running a few more tests. But since I can't exactly run them on you, and we don't know when you'll be back, you might not want to wait. Up to you.
What would be cool is if the game made you, for example, like infiltrate somewhere or complete a certain quest, but with glitchy augmentations, so the whole time you're constantly fighting yourself.
The game's already kind of done that occasionally with the visual glitches. They toned it down, obviously, so it wouldn't irritate players as much, but I guess that is incentive to get them. But here, we actually have to be careful, because if you remember in the last update, Bell Tower is after us, and there's a Bell Tower operative walking about there, as you can just see, so you have to sneak past these guys every time you see them, or they'll open fire on you.
Oh, so there's nowhere is safe, basically, not even just the hub worlds.
No, I like the idea of sneaking about a hub area. It's kind of like in Dishonored, or in... I think the new Thief game does it, I don't know, but I kind of like the idea that you have to sneak in a hub area as well, like nowhere is safe, as you said. But yeah, Harvesters might be about, and we're going to see Harvesters a lot more in this.
If Harvesters are who I think they are, I am not a fan of the Harvesters.
There is problem with the peripheral nerve interface. We fixed with upgraded chip. You want it, yes?
There's a cutscene that you get if you do want the chip update. I think it's the visual chip that's been glitching out, obviously.
Yeah, name's Jensen.
I will tell surgery. You buy something else?
But here's the cutscene that you get if you do take it. We're not going to take it for this series, because I looked at all the... I even did this the first time around. I looked at all the evidence and decided not to take it, because there's compelling evidence for me to go against it, i.e. when we snuck around in Taeyong Medical, but also that little cutscene there was reused as an asset, because every time Jensen would get augmented and upgrade himself, he'd have to go through a limb clinic to do so, but they changed that.
Excuse me?
But hey, Talion Anno Domini.
Jensen?
Okay, now time for some quests.
I am not mistaken. You are Mr. Jensen, right?
That depends. Who's asking?
I am sorry, Mr. Jensen. I am being impolite. My name is Wing Hui. I am a doctor here.
I can see that. What I really meant to ask is, how do you know who I am?
Yes, of course. Excuse me, for I am a bit nervous. Bell Tower agents were here a while ago, looking for a man who fits your description. When I heard what they were saying of you, it occurred to me that you might be exactly the person I need.
So this is just role-playing here.
Are you trying to blackmail me, Doc?
No. No, of course not. I assure you, Mr. Jensen, no one in this clinic would dare to turn you over to the police.
Even the policeman.
LIM has very strict rules about patient confidentiality, especially if those patients belong to our partnership program.
Glad to hear it. So what's this all about then?
I'm afraid I won't be able to go into very much details. Not before I know you are really willing to help. But I need someone to help me to stop a very dangerous augmented soldier, and possibly his squad mates. If everything Bell Tower said of you is true, then you would seem the good fit for this job.
I accept this treasureful side quest.
Fine, I'll do it. Just tell me more.
Thank you. Now please, understand that I am to give you sensitive information on multiple parties.
Facetious, always facetious.
No, we're going to be facetious.
You'd be surprised by the amount of sensitive information that gets tossed my way on a daily basis. I haven't misused any of it. Yet.
Yet? Mr. Jensen, please. Do not make light of this matter. Bell Tower is, well, you know their role in this city. But what you do not know is that they often contract LIM specialists to operate in private, on special projects.
What kind of special projects?
What you Americans call black operations. Bell Tower selects some of their best soldiers and make them to be super augmented with experimental, top-secret hardware.
Not to sound too jaded, Doc, but none of that comes as a big surprise. Stuff like that's been going on for years.
Yes. Your government and mine have both been guilty of this practice, I am sure. But Bell Tower is not a government. They are a private corporation. A private army on sale to the highest bidder.
Is this about stopping Bell Tower, then? Because as much as I might hate them right now, I'm only one man.
No. It is not all of Bell Tower I need help with. It is just one of their covert operatives, a man named Michael Zelazny. He was implanted with experimental hardware, and to an extent that is way beyond legal regulations. I am ashamed to say I have operated on him myself, and he has been used in countless secret operations for the Chinese and others.
So yeah, we've got ourselves an equal to Jensen.
Sounds like the type of man you don't want to see going out of control.
Precisely. Yet, about a month ago, I have heard rumors that Mr. Zelazny and part of his unit had gone rogue. And 2 weeks later, a city official was killed in a perfectly staged operation. I am certain it was them. And then, a few days ago, Mr. Zelazny contacted me himself. He needed urgent help with one of his squad mates' augmentations.
I take it you said you would help.
They sent me to the back store of a meat shop near Pandang Road, in the Yutzao district. There, I performed emergency repairs on one of the agent's augs, a servo replacement. I believe this back store is their hideout, Mr. Jensen. You must go there and make Mr. Zelazny hear reason.
I love Zelazny as a name so much.
So fancy.
I'll do what I can.
I am sure you are up to the task. Mr. Zelazny is a soldier, not a maniac. Your unique situation will no doubt resonate with him. And if things do turn sour and he must be terminated, I think you are quite a good candidate to get it done. Or at least survive.
Thanks, Dr. Utaku.
So? You have found Zelazny? I cannot stress enough the importance of this task, Mr. Jensen.
His mustache is just one long line. It even grows under the bit where it shouldn't grow.
Just never ends.
What more can you tell me about this operative, Zelazny?
He is American. His father was a Polish immigrant. His files portray him as highly intelligent, calm, and a fine strategist. He is also a religious man. He joined the army when he was 18. Ever since, he has excelled in almost every aspect of his military service. That is why he was selected by Bell Tower for the Special Operatives Project. At the time, the U.S. Army delegated some of its work in counterinsurgency to the PMC. As for the rest, you will have to learn it from him.
Just say Zelazny, because I like the name.
You seem like a decent man, Dr. Wing. Why did you get involved with something like this?
I always act according to my ethics, Mr. Jensen. I love my country. I respect its history, its government, its traditions. Bell Tower is under contract with Heng Sha, so I thought I was doing the honorable thing by being loyal. It is not easy to accept that one's beliefs might have been a fraud.
Oh, you're not going to say Zelazny? Damn it.
So what exactly am I supposed to do?
You should go to Mr. Zelazny's hideout, the back store of the meat shop in the residential district. I can send the coordinates to your Wayfinder augmentation. Once you get there, try to convince him and his men to turn themselves in. If that fails, I'm afraid you might have to put them out of service permanently, for everyone's safety.
You understand that I'm really risking my neck here?
Of course, Mr. Jensen. I'm afraid there is not much I can offer you, but I have a Praxis kit I could give you in exchange for your help.
I think that Jensen is to Praxis Kit as Scooby is to
that's it for
Scooby
now,
Snacks.
Doc.
He'll just do anything if a Praxis Kit is on the line.
Absolutely. So we're just going to follow the Wayfinder here, sneaking past everyone. If you decided to skip that dialogue, which I don't blame you for, the teenaged anime boy with a caterpillar on his lip wants us to hunt down a rogue soldier that he's augmented on, who's Jensen's equal, in the way that they're both heavily augmented soldiers.
Jensen versus Zelazny.
Yeah, they travel through time. And
If I ever change my internet moniker, I'm just changing it to Zelazny.
sounds better than anything you've come up with, yeah. But hey,
Well,
here's
fuck
that.
you.
Here's that guy. It's a place we've already raided, but this is actually closer to one of my favourite missions because it requires us to do some investigating. Like, there's the hint there down below. Means we have to search the sewers. Obviously, I'm cutting straight to the sewers we're travelling to. We're going to see that in a minute. But I really wish that we could have gone into any sewers and crawled through following like a trail of breadcrumbs of some kind and found our way towards Zelazny that way. That would have been...
Oh, is it a very specific place you have to go to then?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that place would be...
Right next to the Alice Garden pods, so the open sewer bit, and there's a bit under that, so just going to jump down into the bog here, and if you're wondering where it is, boom, there it is.
It's
Alice
there,
Garden pods.
precisely there.
Absolutely. And there's an open grate here. Open that up, there we go. And here's Zelazny, and we're going to talk him out of this if we can.
They send you?
If you're talking about your former buddies at Bell Tower, the answer is no.
Wait a minute. You're Jensen, right? I heard that some of my former buddies have been looking for you.
Could be. What's it to you?
When a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong.
You've dropped the merc gig to become a man of the cloth?
Hardly. I just have an interest in theology. And I love quoting the book. Everything in it is so evocative. Now, tell me, are you here to stop me?
That I am.
Then perhaps you should reconsider. There are many of us, and only one of you. At this moment, my men and I have no quarrel with you. So you don't have to die for a war that isn't yours.
You know, I've got to say, this guy looks like a generic video game protagonist.
I said I was here to stop you, not fight you. A friend of yours sent me to convince you to turn yourself in.
Let me guess. Dr. Wing, right? He's a good man. And I know he's only trying to do what he thinks is right. But he doesn't quite grasp the whole picture here.
Then why don't you enlighten me? Start by explaining why you went rogue.
When an average man decides he no longer shares his employer's views and opts to leave, we say he's handing in his resignation. When men like us do the same, it's called going rogue. You can't quit a job like ours, Jensen. You know that.
Yeah, he kind of looks like the protagonist of The Fall, Deus Ex The Fall.
Yeah, okay, I can relate. But you still haven't answered my question. And what do you mean when you say you no longer share your employer's view?
Back in the US, when I first got into the army, I did it because I wanted to serve my country. I believed in its values. I believed in its government. Back then I believed that by serving my government, I was serving the people it was supposed to protect.
Nice sentiment. But you don't work for the US anymore, you work for Bell Tower.
Times change, Jensen. You know the story. Capitalism's final encroachment on one of the most lucrative industries in the history of mankind. War got privatized. The US military offloaded its special operations to PMCs like Blue Water Global and Bell Tower. I believed that as long as they were working for the government, they were serving the same cause. So when they offered me the chance to work on major operations at twice the pay grade, I made my jump.
Why don't we just skip to when things went sour?
Bell Tower outfitted us with top-notch augmentations. The kind of stuff civilians never hear about. Gave us a massive edge over the enemy. Later, seeing as my unit was one of the most successful ones, they selected us for a special program. Top secret, experimental tech. Told us we would get to work on critical black ops for the US government. But there was a price to pay.
Go on.
We had to be implanted with a neural hub that manipulates memory centers in the brain. Basically controlling what you can and cannot remember.
And you agreed to this?
Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. The augmentation was supposed to keep us safe, make sure we'd never remember details if we fell behind enemy lines. That was the main function. The second one, the one they didn't tell us about, was to lower our inhibitions. Make us more receptive to orders we'd likely disobey. Bell Tower turned us into the perfect mercs.
Memory and behavioural augmentations I disagree with as unethical.
If you were so perfect, and the hub made you so perfect, how did it fail? How come they didn't outfit the whole agency?
I told you the tech was experimental. After a couple of ops, I started experiencing memory shifts, remembering bits and fragments of past operations. Slowly I realized some of these operations couldn't logically have been orchestrated by the government. I was asked to do highly questionable things, even by professional standards.
Aren't we all?
Not like this, Jensen. Our services have been sold to corrupt officials in the American and Chinese governments. A combination of lies and use of the neural aug made sure we complied. We were working for a shadow government. Individuals corrupted by a quest for personal power.
So how'd you get out of it?
I confronted the project director. He quoted Apocalypse Now. You have to have men who are moral, and at the same time who are able to utilize their primordial instincts to kill without feeling. I forced him to disconnect the hub, for me and my squad mates here. And then I killed him. I went through his files and contacts. I know who these corrupt men are now. They've turned us into killing machines, and now they'll get to experience their experiment firsthand.
So again, this mission, another reason why I like it is that it's a parody on propaganda, replacing propaganda with actual augmentation, and how it's just media implanting things into our brains.
I have no doubt these men deserve to die. But you can't simply pass judgment on people. Nothing gives you that right. You have to turn yourself in. Play this by the book.
I'm afraid that's impossible. These men I killed, and these men I'm going to kill, they have names, families. Their deaths shouldn't be erased from my memory by some electronic software. They should haunt me, taunt me, until I finally meet our Lord and pay for my sins. But the men behind this, they deserve to die. And I think there's poetry in the fact that they engineered their own demise.
It's in a state where no matter what you do, they'll protect themselves. His logic is sound. But anyway, this is a nice little touch here.
You're a charismatic, intelligent leader, Zelazny. Don't throw that away by becoming a vigilante who'll be remembered as a terrorist. Make them pay in accordance to the law, not by breaking it.
It's a cute little toy you have there, Jensen. But don't waste your time. Your Cassie won't work on me.
Finally it happened. No!
So actually, we're gonna let him go.
I think you're wrong. But I don't think it's my place to try to stop you either. Do what you have to do.
I appreciate that, Jensen. I didn't want you to die for a cause that isn't yours.
Oh man, I was expecting a boss fight with a dangerous criminal based on how he was being
No, we can't
described
kill.
and...
We can't kill.
Hey, Jensen. Zelazny here.
Zelazny? How'd you get this frequency?
You're no stranger to top-secret augmentations, Jensen. You figure it out. In the meantime, just want to let you know I've contacted some of my old pals at Bell Tower. Got them to reassign a couple of local patrols. You should have a few less problems to deal with for a while.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Also, it makes the hub world easier to navigate.
Absolutely. So, returning to this guy.
You have found Zelazny? I cannot stress enough the importance of this task, Mr. Jensen.
I found him.
Really, Mr. Jensen? You have been able to make him understand reason? Will he turn himself in?
No, he showed me reason.
It's a long story, Doc. I tracked Zelazny and his men. They were hiding in the sewers. And after talking to him, I decided to let him go.
What? But he is a dangerous man, Mr. Jensen. You should not have done this.
The men Zelazny's after are far more dangerous than he is. His methods are extreme, but I think his cause is justified. To be honest, Doc, I believe what he wants isn't that different from you. An honorable government free of corruption. They could use a man like you.
I had not foreseen such a thing. I don't know, Mr. Jensen. You seem to believe that the end justifies the means, but I don't know. I'll have to think about this. Here is the Praxis kit as promised.
So you still get the achievement for doing this, and if you do want to kill Talion, Zelazny, then the exploding back system thingy that I hate is the only thing good for it. But corporate warfare is as soon as you enter the second half of the hub.
Mr. Jensen, Hugh Darrow here. Please forgive this intrusion, but David assured me of your cooperation and discretion. I find myself in need of some assistance.
I'm listening.
A contact of mine, Meng Yao, is in Hengsha, waiting to fill you in. I'll upload her coordinates now.
I remember and enjoy this mission a lot.
Let's hope he's as good as
It's easy, yeah.
Mr. Jensen, right? Thank you for your time. I am Meng Yao, an associate of Mr. Darrow's. I'm in charge of one of his divisions here in Hengsha. You come highly recommended.
Really?
Your boss described you as a most precious asset. Apparently, you are very efficient and always get the job done. We could definitely use a man like you for this operation.
Let's hope his confidence is well placed then.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Mr. Darrow doesn't trust just anyone. We need you to help us stop a group of terrorists who are threatening the Panchaea project. It is not an easy task. Are you sure you are up to it?
Okay, I'll help out.
Excellent. Here's the situation. It has come to our attention that these terrorists possess highly classified proprietary information about Panchaea. We've been able to convince them to sell it to one of our agents, a man named Lo Fei. The meeting is supposed to take place near the Alice Garden Pods in the Daigong district.
And you want me to crash this meeting?
Actually, there will not be a meeting. We are sending you alone to ensure Mr. Fei's safety. The terrorists will not be expecting that, and will have the information with them on a data chip. You have to neutralize all of the sellers and retrieve the chip so you can bring it to me.
I don't get it. If Fei set up the meeting, why risk sending me in his stead? Why doesn't he or even some of your other agents drop in on the sellers and take the chip?
Because Mr. Darrow wants an absolute guarantee that there will be no casualties. We will not play by their rules. We want them arrested and questioned, then properly prosecuted and sentenced. This will require stealth and efficiency. That's why a man with your particular skills will be indispensable.
Anything else I need to know?
The sellers are expecting Mr. Fei and Mr. Fei alone. If they spot you, they will shoot on sight. Need I point out this might make your job a lot harder?
Story of my life.
You must get that chip back, Mr. Jensen.
Can you give me a quick recap of what I have to do?
You must go to the Alice Garden Pods in the Daigong district and intercept men who are waiting to sell classified information to a buyer. You will have to incapacitate all of them and retrieve the chip. Remember, no kills. Then bring the chip back to me. The sellers will shoot on sight, so be careful in your approach.
I understand this is a favor for Mr. Darrow, but can I expect compensation?
Of course. We do not expect charity, Mr. Jensen. You will receive payment in credits for your services.
Any idea who these sellers are?
Nothing substantial. We have a hunch they might be linked to Taiyong Medical, but the data chip will allow us to know for sure.
How's that?
All of our data chips are encoded with unique IDs and binary signature recognition. This means we'll be able to know exactly where it came from and where it went.
You've been working for Darrow a long time. How do you like it?
Working for a powerful man ensures I am trusted with crucial tasks and involved in world-shaping events. It's quite exhilarating. You of all people should understand this.
What kind of information are we talking about here? What could people be so eager to sell?
I am not at liberty to say.
I think we're done for now.
Like I said, the reason why I love this mission so much is because it uses the word terrorist, which is such an arbitrary word, and again is like a parody of modern contemporary propaganda, which is essentially just label someone as a terrorist, therefore they are enemy.
And then there's no complexity to them. There are good guys and bad guys, nothing more.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, the actual gameplay of this mission is piss. It's more or less waiting for guys, taking them out one by one, Predator style.
Oh, I thought you meant like piss easy. You mean it's not good?
Well, it's easy, but it's still alright. That guy there, this was funny as well. He looked straight at me and didn't notice.
He's not very perceptive, that fellow.
Yeah. Wonder, are these terrorists very good? This guy was brilliant though. On my first playthrough ever of this, I actually lost my pacifist rank. Because, you know that sewer grate I left open?
Yeah?
In the previous mission? He fell down that and died. I think it was like a AI mapping glitch.
I can imagine him screaming like Goofy as he fell as well. And then your pacifist rank is gone.
Yep, but anyway, you can just grab the chip. And we'll return. There's actually a glitch in the dialogue here.
Back, Mr. Jensen.
What kind of information
So,
are we talking about?
doing that, I can see that she's in a beta.
I got the chip. The sellers are out cold.
Excellent work. Seems Mr. Darrow was right to trust you. We will send people to take care of the terrorists. Could I see the chip?
How about you tell me what's on it first?
Blackmail, Mr. Jensen? Don't waste your time. I won't tell you anything. Besides, there are stones better left unturned. Might as well just give me the chip and leave it at that.
So even though she flashed alpha, we're going to use the beta option, because she's been using the beta personality
you're a powerful
more.
young woman. You're in a position that warrants your access to classified information. I understand that not everybody should get their hands on this, but I'm like you. I work for a powerful man, and I get entrusted with secret information on a daily basis. Plus, I'm the one who busted his ass getting this chip for you.
I guess your point is not entirely without merit. But understand, this information is extremely confidential. It concerns Panchaea, and more specifically, the Hyron Project.
Hyron Project. Never heard of it.
I'm not surprised. It is a well-guarded secret. But without it, Panchaea could not exist. Such an ambitious project. An installation extending all the way to the ocean floor. The pressure exerted against it is constantly shifting. Yet the slightest defect in structural integrity could bring it all down. That's why we needed something powerful and extremely efficient to monitor it, day and night.
You're saying the Hyron Project is some kind of advanced computer?
Yes, I suppose you could say that.
Thank you for your honesty. The information is safe with me, don't worry. Here's your data chip.
Ah, perfect. You don't know what this means, Mr. Jensen. Your help has been invaluable. Thank you. Here you go. Payment as promised. I'm sure Mr. Darrow will wish to congratulate you himself. Expect to hear from him soon.
So that's strange. Why would a supercomputer be considered unethical and needed to be shared with the world?
It seems David has a flair for choosing his people, Mr. Jensen. You have done me a great service today.
Glad I could help. Couldn't let information about something as sensitive as the Hyron project get in the hands of the wrong people.
No. No, we couldn't. So, Meng Yao told you about the project, I see.
A little.
I'm afraid words can't do it justice. To fully comprehend the ramifications of what's been created in Panchaea, you'd have to see it for yourself. And who knows? Perhaps one day you will.
I wonder if that is foreshadowing.
Damn it, Hugh Darrow, stop talking like a Bond villain.
Yeah, that's really stereotypically evil sounding.
So anyway, we picked up some practice kits. We're going to upgrade ourselves here. More battery life especially. Next, after this mission, we're going to see more of the Harvesters, which I'm looking forward to. Myself, I love the Harvesters. They're unethical, but their concepts about transhumanation is that entertains me. So that's it for the side quests. Next we got the main missions, including a DLC mission.
Bye!